Good afternoon, people. Welcome to PokerVagabond episode 4. Don't really know when I'm going to stop calling them episodes, but for now, that'll do, I guess. I've put on this jacket to make it seem like it's been a few days since my last post, but it hasn't. It's been about 20 odd minutes, but I enjoy making these little videos. Actually, it gives me, I don't know, I guess it's quite liberating just to be able to talk about shit that I'm going through, if you want to call it that, even though I wouldn't, and just the things that I'm trying to improve within my life in general, and within poker. Obviously I will get to the poker at some point. At the moment, as I said in the last video, I am really enjoying the sort of other side that I do believe is pretty essential to poker as well. So for example, the last one was just organisation, just getting a little bit organised. And now this one, as you can see by my amazing background, is talking about goals. I couldn't be bothered to do a little slideshow and stuff, haven't got to that stage yet. So I'll just use Google to do my thing for me. So goals are pretty important, I've come to discover. They kind of give you a clear indication or clear path, as it were, to where you want to get to. But also they can be a bit of a hindrance. If you don't achieve your goals and you feel like shit, if you don't achieve your goals and you might just give up altogether and just not follow through at all. And that's why I wholeheartedly think that you have to set a range of goals. I was chatting to my friend Dennis, hopefully you're watching, Dennis, at the pub, and about his little YouTube channel that he wanted to get going. Faulty projector, yeah, there we go, there's a little plug. And we got talking about his goals. I was like, okay, what's your goals for your blog? He's like, oh, you know, I want to get 1,000, 2,000 views, that'd be really nice. But then there wasn't really any other goals apart from that, which I thought was sort of wrong, because let's say you don't get 1,000 views or 2,000 views, then where do you go? What do you just stop? But that doesn't work, because you need to keep working at it for that goal to get attainable, should we say. And it was just a very interesting sort of concept of, okay, so for example, my poker goals, I can actually show you them here. So now I have to wait for this to load up. So there's a little poker warm-up thing that we have. I don't use it every time I play. I feel like I should, but it can be a little bit, just a bit of a chore sometimes. Don't know why this isn't logged in before. Guess that shows how often I use it. Come on. Come on. Here we go. So let's go to just the warm up straight away, start it up. And then straight away in this warm up, and this warm up is kind of like an athlete would warm up their body, their legs, their arms, or whatever. This is kind of warming up my brain. I know that sounds a little bit wanky, doesn't it? But I guess that's what you're doing, because in poker, and I will have to get to this at some later stage, but I won't go into the details yet. Oh, that's why my face was all shiny. There we go. Yeah, I won't go into the details yet, but poker is a pretty strange game. You can't, for example, have just a goal based on money, even though you can see it there, but you can't have that, because it fluctuates. And you can have good months and bad weeks and good weeks and really shitty days and really good days. I can't remember if I've mentioned it before, but if you ever meet a poker player, just the worst question you can ask is, are they winning? Because it doesn't really matter whether they're winning that day or not at all. It's pretty irrelevant. It's whether they're making the right decisions in that day. So you could ask a poker player, oh, have you made the you winning today? And they'll be like, nope. They'll be like, oh shit, you're a shit poker player. But if you ask them, oh, have you made all the right decisions? The answer they should, or at least would like to give, is yes, I've made all the right decisions, or what I believe to be the right or correct decisions. and that's all you can hope for in poker. So I do have a money goal, because obviously in the end the money is important. The money is what I want to do this for, or at least certainly a big part of it. So I have my long-term goal there. My long-term goal is to be earning $15 an hour playing poker by the end of January next year. And you know, I will be able to look back at that point when I get to January and, for example, take a sample size of, let's say, 300,000 hands by the time I get to that point, and be able to see how much I'm earning per hour using Holder Manager they will do the calculations for me. But I can't just have that my only goal, because let's say I get to January and I'm only on $10 an hour. Oh, failed, give up. Nah, that's not really the best way to go about it. So I have my midterm goals. You know, I have a little goals maybe for the week or for the month. These are generally monthly, and I haven't changed them. So this I don't do because I don't go on to 2+2 forum really anymore. But it's definitely a goal. I need a goal to change this actually. Anyway, so it's to play 120 hours over the month. Now, let's say, for example, last week I only got around 25 in because of my shitty sort of weekend where I kind of fucked it up. Well, this way I can then add on a few hours maybe in a different week. But that's also something I can definitely accomplish. If that doesn't accomplish, then okay, there's not really much I can do about that. Just have to work harder, and hopefully I'll get to that point. But if I don't get to that, I can still do this one. I can still work 120 hours a week at the cash tables, learning my trade, shall we say. And I can also post in the forum. These are things I have active control over, whether I achieve them or not. So back to Dennis's example of he wants 1,000 views or 2,000 views. Okay, so that could be up here, his long-term goal. Alright, so how is he going to go and achieve that? What's the best possible way? So it could be for him, post a video every month and make sure he's posting it onto his Facebook and onto Instagram or whatever, or onto Twitter. You know, that could be setting up a blog post as well that kind of accompanies his blog. Either way, it doesn't really matter about what he can do, but as long as he's not always focused on that one, the same for me, as long as I'm not always focused on that. That's my end goal, but it's not the thing that's going to drive me forward. So here, these are, you know, blocked down into sort of monthly things. And then my short-term goals, they're the goals that are like, now, what can I do today to help me get to the long-term goal? So avoid looking at active session for the entire session. Active session is basically my results of that day, of that hour, of that time I'm playing. And it can have really negative effects if you keep looking at it, because if you're just having a bad session just simply because that's what happens in poker, it could affect you negatively, and then you might not want to play, or you might start doing random shit because you want to start winning again. Either way, it's just bad for me. And I can actively not look at active session, for example. That is something that I have control over. So once again, the long-term goals, I don't really have much control. The only thing I can do is just work my hardest to hopefully get to that point. But all the other stuff, I can can actively not do them or do them. And that's where I think goal setting can be really, really important, but making sure you've got a nice structure surrounding your goals. So you're not, if you miss out on one, you've still got a couple to fall back on, or maybe you've got a list of different goals for your different projects. So once again, I'm going back into my stocks and shares and yoga and all that stuff. I want to have different goals, but they're also not as specific as poker, because poker obviously I know a lot more about. While stocks and shares, yoga, meditation, at the moment I've got a pretty vague goal of just get better at it, which can, depending on what you want to achieve, be a good goal to set or a really terrible one. So if my poker goal was to just get better at it, I mean, what the fuck is that? That is nothing. That is get better at what? Cash games, tournaments, sit and goes, get better at, it's poker's such a big subject that's just a terrible goal for me at this point in my career. While my meditation or yoga or stocks goals is to just get a bit more informed about it. Probably works alright at the moment. I think it's a pretty safe goal just to set myself for, let's say, just January and February. Just get better and understand it, understand whatever the history, or understand the terminology, especially when it comes to, well, actually terminology used for everything, to be perfectly honest. You know, what's downward facing dog? I sort of kind of know, but still don't know it that well. But this is the thing, it's different goals. I don't know, different goals can help you or hinder you, and I think the best way to people to do it is write down the subjects or whatever that they want to improve on, and then have a rough broad range of goals, and go back to those goals. Go back to those goals every week, go back to those goals every month, and actively change them. Or maybe they're the same, maybe it's going well and keep doing what you're doing and everything will be fine. But also don't get derailed by it. Don't set yourself unobtainable goals. For example, if I wrote, alright, I want to be earning $100 an hour playing poker, that's pretty unobtainable. Maybe, yet again, this is another thing that you need to look out for, which is, for example, I can actually, let's say I want to be earning $15 an hour. Well, thanks to my friend Rob, my other poker buddy, he's done a spreadsheet. He's the big maths man. He's done a spreadsheet, and it talks about how much kind of roughly you could be earning if you're playing a certain amount of tables, certain amount of hours, and all this jazz. So technically I could, if I wanted to, go into this sort of spreadsheet and find out what it would take for me to earn $100 an hour. Just the same as, well, any goal you can set. If you set it too high, setting goals that are really too high can be good, as long as you don't feel shit if you don't reach them, which is why you have all these backup goals to help you get to that higher goal. But also look at your big goal and find out a little bit more about it. Maybe it's you want to open a business. Okay, you know, I want to open a lemonade stand. I kind of stole that from a YouTube finance video that I watched. Well, okay, you want to open a lemonade stand in a year. Then you've got to look at the smaller goals about how you make that happen. And they will all help towards your big final goal. So I guess that's pretty much it for this one. I don't know how I talk about 13 minutes. I have no idea how that goes. But yeah, I'm thinking of maybe putting blog posts to go along with these video things. As I said before, I do actually really enjoy making them. Even though, as I keep saying, there's a lot of other people out there who have done the whole goals thing a lot better than me. But it's one of those things that I find is the sort of one thing that sets apart all successful people and all people that are making the time, I guess, on this earth. That sounds really hokey pokey, doesn't it? But a lot of them always seem to be goal driven. They have goals and they have structure and they have focus. They have determination to get stuff done. It's the classic, I don't know, it's a classic thing of they don't have time for TV and everything like that, because that's just time wasted. Now, I'm not saying don't watch TV. I love a bit of good TV. Jesus. Jonathan Creek, the best. It doesn't mean I need to watch 10 TV shows at the same time and take up all that time. Having that structure and goal and that determination can do wonders. Now, hopefully, now me I'm talking about it, we'll see what happens. What was it? This is January the 26th of the 1st. And I would like to think that I'll be keeping these videos up for a year. I would love to find out where I am in a year's time. And I know that there was something I read up earlier, which is, and I don't know if I came up with this term. I don't think I did, but I definitely kind of stole the concept but made a new term to my dad just then. And it was your journey line. So if let's say your life is a line, you know, your journey line, should we say? If you're not going to make any changes or do anything, then your line's going to stay pretty standard. It's going to stay pretty straight. And that's cool with some people, that's fine. I'm not having a go at anyone doing that. But if you want to achieve something or set goals, then you'll have little spikes across your line, and Hopefully the spikes will go up with the good times and they go down a bit when you're feeling shit and stuff. I'm constantly, and you know, your journey line will change. It will go up and down, and you know, hopefully more upwards. Which is another great point I come to, which is I treat my life now as like the holder manager line. I'll show you that on here. Let's just do the red line. No, the red line will always go down, won't it? So that's probably not the best. You've all seen it on my little thing. Here we go. I'll just show you this. This is how I try and think of sort of my life nowadays, which sounds a bit weird, but let's take it down here. Okay, don't know why I'm pointing. Let's take it here, yeah? So this is me, let's say a week or two ago. I was feeling really, really, really good. Was scheduling stuff, learning lots of new things, generally felt pretty awesome and whatnot. And then this weekend just happened, which was a great weekend. You cannot complain. I guess it was last weekend now, if I'm going to upload this next week. It was a great weekend of Age of Empires, which I've been playing for over 10 years now. Gigs that I've been going to over 10 years. Wrestling, that's kind of my new little thing that I like to watch my mates. But I also achieved fuck all that weekend. So I kind of went down in my little achievement goalie bollocks. So this kind of was a dip. But that doesn't mean shit if, you know, because then this week I'm making the videos and playing poker again, and then boom. And there'll be little dips. There'll be always little dips where you feel that you're not achieving something, or you're in a weight loss program and your goal is this, but you know, you go to a wedding and stuff yourself full of fucking cake or beer and stuff. It's fine, don't worry about it, as long as the way you react to those things, you just get back on the horse and keep going. And I believe your life goals or achievements, or whatever the fuck you want to call it really, sort of will end up looking a bit like this. Maybe it'll look like this. Fucking loads of crazy shit going on and massive big swings and up and down, but if you look at roughly the way it's heading, it's always going up. This one. Maybe you're pretty chilled, but you like to do a little bit now and again. So it'll just go up slowly but surely, but you know, you take this and 70 years along down the line, you know, it'd be super up. You know, you don't have to strive for stuff really, really quickly. So in conclusion, once again, just set some goals, set some shit up, make those dreams or whatever the hell you want to call it. I really don't like being all that, sounding like a complete dick, but write them down. Start figuring out how you can make those goals sort of reality. What's the my last thing before I go? Anthony Robbins quote, and he's really cool. He's a motivational speaker guy. I'm really into my sort of motivational speaking dudes. A lot of people are quite negative about them. Well, you know, I don't need any help with my life, and it's like, well, yeah, shut up, basically. I think we all need help with our lives in whatever it is. Could be loads of different shit. Managers telling you how to do certain things, parents telling you how to buy a house or whatever. So anyone who says motivational speakers are dickheads or bellends, surely some of them are, but yeah, they're probably people who don't really want to do anything, so they look at people who are trying to motivate people as dicks. Maybe. But there's another one straight away. It's not even the one I wanted, but setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. Exactly. There's another one that I really wanted to show you. Where is it? Well, it's not in here, so it doesn't really matter. Schedule. Oh, I'm probably going over my time now, it sucks. Anthony Robbins. Yeah, here we go. So just before I go, this quote, hopefully it pops up. Maybe. Here we go. There we go. So if you talk about it, it's a dream. If you envision it, it's a possibility. If you schedule it, it's real. And I really, really like that quote. I really, really agree with it, to be perfectly honest. And it doesn't really matter how much you schedule it, as long as you put a little bit of time in to make it happen. So on that note, it's been 20 minutes. Fuck knows how I did that again. That's a bit ridiculous. Before I go, Oh, so I want to thank my brother to get me the best present ever. It's hideous, but also sick. Can you see? Will you stand up straight? No, I'll do that. Yeah. My new favourite jacket. Not that I ever got to the 2008 final table, but yeah. Anyway, guys. Yeah, please. Oh, I can't even. Can I even bother to say please subscribe? There's only about 5 of you who got to the end of this. But yeah, I'll keep them coming. I quite enjoy them. Take care. Oh, I just looked in the camera. Ooh, take care in a bit. Bye.